I'm sorry?
Sorry, is the refinement driven by the CIO, the line of business, or some combination there?
I think it's largely the CIO that has the responsibility for refining the governance principles over time. The unique value of the CIO is they do have an enterprise-wide view, and ideally broader than the enterprise across a business network in terms of the issues of achieving consistency and compatibility over time. Business line executives tend to be quite parochial. They want a set of technologies that's going to solve their problem today. They don't particularly care about longer-term architectural concerns or governance principles. And I think that's where the CIO has a unique value to add.
There are some gentlemen in the front, so I would request you to help with the mic in the front, please. Yeah.
Hi, Anand Girdharadas from the International Herald Tribune. I'm interested in a case study of how this could really change a particular industry. I'll just use my own. The print newspaper industry is ailing. And all of this stuff looks very relevant for how newspapers could reinvent themselves. Can you just take us through what a newspaper of the future would look like if it threw out all its bad ideas and did this stuff brilliantly?
That's a presentation in its own right. I've worked with a fair number of media companies, and I do believe this technology is going to fundamentally redefine how you think about media. And in particular, it's a notion of viewing media increasingly as a way to connect people to a broader range of resources. Most media companies still focus on professionally produced content. The opportunity at one level is to get users involved in creating content, sharing that content with each other, and pointing the reader or the audience to content from other sites that are relevant and related to the content that's being developed on a particular media site. So I think viewing media, again, as a platform as opposed to a self-contained product is the essence of the mindset shift. Right? It goes back to this notion of services as platforms. The media in the future will be a catalyst for a much broader range of content creation and content connection. It becomes a platform for users to connect more efficiently with the content that's relevant to them. The business model, I think, will be largely around advertising, and particularly for media companies that really understand the opportunity and potential of these technologies. It's developing a much deeper understanding of individual audience needs that allow you to target advertising in a much more effective way that's valuable to the user and valuable to the advertiser, and that's the real business opportunity over time from these technologies.
Thanks, John. Gentlemen, we have a lot of people keen on asking questions, so I would request you to restrict yourself to one question, and if you can be brief on the question. Go ahead, please.
Can you draw a connection between what is happening on the Web 2.0 front and some of the activity at the bottom of the pyramid? Now, there hasn't been much IT consumption at the bottom of the pyramid, and at the microfirm stage, in the textile industry, India exports about $30 billion. 100,000 small microfirms are involved in that. Now, they never consumed IT. They probably haven't even afforded a PC so far. So with thin clients, with mobile thrown in, do you visualize a world where they would get IT enabled in a way which has not been possible in the past?
That's a great question. I think it goes to what I see as one of the patterns of innovation that I see emerging, particularly in India, is the notion of what I call open distribution models, where the focus is on how do you reach a very distributed rural population that isn't very affluent, and do it in a way that leverages a lot of institutions that already are in place. And you can point to examples from ICICI Bank to ITC to what Tata Motors is starting to do in terms of automobile distribution. And that creates a situation where you have to connect and coordinate activities across a very large number of smaller institutions. And that's particularly where I think these technologies will become very relevant and helpful in terms of achieving that kind of open distribution model and making it even more economically feasible. So I do see that as a significant opportunity and a pattern that many other countries can learn from over time.
Would like to bring to notice something very interesting which has been happening in Bombay for a long time. You spoke about Li and Fung. There's a food courier industry here called Mumbai Dabbawalas. Studied by Forbes, Six Sigma is the quality level consistently over the last 35, 40 years, we are told. Had the opportunity of studying them about 7, 8 years back. Before you leave Mumbai, I would really suggest that you look at them. Flat organization, the people who work on this, they earn less than $100 a month. This is something very, very interesting. I was just going through your slides and the model, the paradigm that you talk about is a perfect fitment here.
Yeah.
And this organization can grow really well, seamlessly. There is one aspect of Eastern philosophy also going past this, as I understand. Thanks.
Now, it's very interesting to me that I think a lot of the innovation that's occurring in terms of the emergence of distributed business networks, process networks, is emerging in Asia as opposed to Western countries. And I think the opportunity over time is for these models to be more broadly adopted in Western countries and by Western companies. But I see it in supply chain management, I see it in product development and product innovation, I see it in customer relationship management, the opportunity to connect very large numbers of specialized business partners together and to orchestrate those activities in a more loosely coupled way is a significant business opportunity. And again, where I think the technology has an opportunity to leverage those efforts in a very interesting way.